this contains the rudder, the stabilizer, the aeroply sheet, and with the control horn backing plate, and these are two sides of the fuselage. One has the hatch cut out, one does not. Rest all is the same. And the main fuselage for our plane, and this is the area which cuts out from the battery tray. So we will be installing our wing panels here. The battery will be mounted in front, the servos will go here, stabilizer will be included here, the rudder will be cut off, this will be slightly cut off and installed here. The motor mount will be included here. So this is EPP, and very high density, very tough, very strong, unbreakable sort of. It's like bendable and does not break, can take a beating. This is also CA friendly, so cyanoacrylate glues, Fevikwik can be used on this foam without any problem. You can also use hot glue on this. So let's put this aside and open our wing panels. So first, these are the two polyhedral wingtips. Shrink wrapped. So this material is EPS. EPS is different from EPP. This is not bendable. So this is a little more fragile than this, but pretty sturdy. EPP is bendable, but EPS is not bendable, so it is more rigid than EPP. And so these are the tips, and they come in their wing core. And on both the tips, a slight angle is cut off, which will be used to give them the polyhedral angle. So these are pre-cut, which just need to be glued in. And this foam will not take cyanoacrylate or CA. So you need to use hot glue for this, or epoxy for gluing these panels. Do not use cyanoacrylate for these. So when you are not using the tips, you can just put them back in the wing ports. Be careful about the trailing edge. Those are very thin and easy to damage. So we'll just put the tips aside and we'll open the main wing panel. Be careful when you open them, because the wings are, the trailing edge is pretty thin. Once we laminate, then they will be much stronger. So just slide the wing panels out of their pores. Beautiful airfoil, and with the spar cut off already there. And so these are interchangeable. There's no left and a right. You can use anything for a left and a right for these panels. These are straight panels which will be used. Spar cut off is there and these are there. So everything looks good. We are now ready to start our build. We'll start our build by first building the wing, and then we'll take care of the fuselage. Hopefully the build will take about 1 to 2 hours, and we'll be measuring and flying the plane by evening today. So we will start our build by first lightly sanding the wing panels. We will be using the supplied sandpaper for this. You need to very lightly sand the panels, and not too much so that you damage the airfoil. Just be gentle and take off a layer of foam on top, so that will help with the adhesion. The laminating film sticks well if the foam is slightly sanded. Evenly sand across the entire wing. Be careful of the trailing edge, not to break it off. So without sanding, it is coarse to touch, it is rough, and after sanding it will be slightly smooth. So this is smooth. So that's what we have to do. So now it is all done, so it's looking very smooth. At this point you can also remove the cutout spar from this. Use any edge to slide that piece of foam from the spar. So this panel is now done, and we will repeat the same thing with the other main panel and the polyhedral wingtips. Now is the time to bring in the adhesive bagged lamination sheet, which we will use for the wing. So there are two sheets which are given. We'll just open one sheet first, and so the way you can do it is that lay the sheet like this and cut off the side. The side will be used for the wing tips, so align this edge here so that nothing is wasted, and cut a straight line. Cut a straight line and remove this side, and now we will start laminating. So to laminate, we will have to remove the adhesive bag sheet and first straighten the film by rolling it in the opposite direction. So now that the panels are laminated, we are going to glue the polyhedral wingtips. So now there are two main wing panels. These are the two main wing panels, and one polyhedral wingtip will be glued at one end, and one polyhedral wingtip will be glued at the other end. So there is a dihedral bevel cut on the polyhedral tips aligned so that the correct sides are glued to the end wingtips. Now after this we keep these aside to be glued here, and to the left and the right wing panels. So we glue these by hot glue. So just take a bead of hot glue and glue it. It's nice to clean this edge before you glue. There is sometimes a little bit of foam. Clear it, and before you glue it, you can also check that the tip height is the same for both, so that you have a symmetrical polyhedral. And after gluing, we will use the lamination to laminate the joint. Note that EPS is not compatible with cyanoacrylate CA, so use only hot glue or epoxy to glue this. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to install the spar. This is the removable aluminum spar, and these are the two small spar ends. So idea is that they will be glued at the ends on the wing. So this will be glued on the wing and there, this will be glued in the wing and there, and this will be removable, and this will slide into the slot. And what we need to do is this will go on the slot here. So the wing end will be glued at this point here. This will be glued inside at this point, and likewise for the other wing it will be glued there, so that the main spar will go and touch that there. So what we are going to do now is glue these into the wing panels. Here is the removable wing, and the spar is now sitting inside, and this is all set up. Now the next step is that we will glue the MDF, the Aeroply rib here on both sides, and install the magnets. On the ribs there are 3 holes. The center hole is for the spar, and these 2 side holes are for the round magnets. Sand slightly the edges to smoothen the joint marks. Now these will be aligned from the leading edge. So these will be aligned from the leading edge so that the spar hole is aligned with the hole, and the trailing part will be left off because it will be cut off to fit into the main wing. Before gluing, put the spar inside to get that alignment correct. We will glue this with a little bit of hot glue. So the wing panels are now finished. There's one more thing to be done, and before we wrap off the wing is we have to cut this area here to make the wing panel enter the fuselage. So we will use the end of the rib, and since our fuselage is 50 mm wide, we will cut 25 mm on each side. So we will draw a line from this tip of the rib, 25 mm inboard on each side. So after cutting this, we will laminate these side edges also, so that the part that we cut off, the film doesn't peel off, and that will secure the edges. And once we do that, we will do a test fit into our wing to see if it is fitting, and if any trimming is needed, it can be done. So on the wing, on the fuselage, there is a wing slot. Try to fit in, should be a tight fit. Both the wing panels you can try and test, and make sure it is tight. Adjust very little bit to make any adjustments, and then the wing panel will be done after this step. So we'll just laminate this and move forward.